Hello, sweet students. This is the second video. If you haven't seen the first video, please go and do that. You'll need your slope fields note-taking guide. And if you were not here on Friday, the last Friday that we were all together, you can access it through modules. So this first page is really just prerequisite skills. So again, I said, let's see how bad my nails look by the end of this shelter-in-place lockdown here. Sorry about that. I did one problem for you, and then I'd like to pause it and have you do the other two so you can see what you remember. So separation of variables is something that we learned when we were together. It's one of our skills to integrate. So we had an integration chapter, and then we had an integration chapter where we did U sub and separation of variables. If the x's and y's are all jumbled, that's a good indicator that you'll need separation of variables. So for this first problem, you want to get the y's on one side, get the x's on the other. You want to integrate both sides. And remember that a c and a c make a c. Hopefully that sounds familiar to you. And then you want to free up the y. And to get the y alone, you would multiply both sides by 3. And then you would cube root the y. So at this point, I'd like you to pause the video, try 2 and 3, see what you remember. We did take a 100-point test on this. Class average was really good. I just feel like a year has happened in the last week since we've been together. So I wanted to do a little bit of prereq skills first with you. Okay, so let's pause. Keep in mind that for number 3, you're going to be finding the c. All right, we're back. So for number 2, I got the y's to the left, the x's to the right. I used a memorized antiderivative for the left. I had to convert 1 over cosine squared to secant squared first. And on the right, I had to do a smidge of backward thinking. Since I'm going backwards, instead of multiplying by a 3, I would divide by the 3. And then reminder that to free up the y from the tan, you need to use inverse. Hopefully you got that right. Next, prereq problem. Same idea. You're sitting on dy dx. You want to integrate. You don't know how because the x's and y's are all jumbled. How do I know that I want to integrate? Because they're asking me to find y and I'm on dy dx. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get the y's on one side, the x's on the other, and start our integration. If you need to, go ahead and pause because for integral of tan, once upon a time, we did use U sub to do that, so I wrote those steps down. It's come up enough times, but like I said, it feels like a year has happened that a lot of us just started writing the ln with the trig. But you can pause and make sense of this U sub if need be. So a c and a c make a c. At this point is when you stop, time out, and find the c. And so you plug your point in. So pop a 0 in, pop a 4 in. And I got that c is 8. So now you plug the c back in and you solve for y. So I would multiply both sides by 2. I would root it plus or minus. And then for these problems, if you were given a point, you needed to check to see if it should be the plus or the minus. So if I plug a 0 in here, cosine of 0 is 1. Ln of 1 is 0. 0 plus 16 is 4. Sorry. 0 plus 16 is 16, but the square root of 16 is 4. And so I want there to be a positive here so that I get a 4 popping out and not a negative 4. So once you have the first video watched where you understand kind of sort of what a slope field looks like, and this second video done where you sharpened your separation of variable skills, I'm ready to teach you how to draw a field on your own. So when you're ready to do that, go ahead and turn your page and let's start the third video where I draw a slope field with you.